Welcome to the Pod in Your Basement podcast, featuring Ben DeLessio and Joe Garza. They're alive, they're hungry, and they're opinionated.
Hello there.
Hey, Ben. How's it going, man?
Hey there, stranger.
Oh,
I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
yeah, it's been a few weeks, man. This is the first episode of the new year.
2026.
Yeah. How are things in
How are things?
How are things in the New Jersey?
It was good. What about you? It was really cold for some of it, and that sucked. And I disliked that. I'm trying to embrace winter because it's my least favorite season.
Yeah.
But in the 20s is where I start to draw. Is where I start to like really resent it.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly here too, man. It got down to like 60.
Yeah, I hate you guys so much.
Well, not quite horror related. It's kind of a psychological horror film, I think, kind of.
Living in Los Angeles is a psychological horror film.
Yeah. Well, I rewatched David Fincher's Seven, which I love. But I'm bringing it up because we had quite a bit of rain this past week. Which is very unusual in LA. We'll get like 1 or 2 weeks of rain. But then anyway, I was watching Seven. I'm like, oh, where does this movie, where do they shoot it at? Because it looks like New York or Chicago. It looks like a very bleak, film noir-y East Coast city. They shot it all in downtown LA. And I was very surprised at how much they made it look like an East Coast type of city.
Is that in Seven? Isn't it raining every day in Seven?
Yeah, it's always overcast, always raining.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow's their characters. They live in an apartment that has a train going by it, so it just feels very East Coast.
Does it say it's LA, or doesn't really say what city?
It's an unnamed city. I think that was kind of It's
I could see that though. Downtown LA does not have a lot of character, so it's
it's kind of a stereotypical
So
downtown.
which I guess kind of works out well for LA. I mean, I don't even, correct me if I'm wrong on that. You live there, but there are some downtowns that are you see them and you can either tell exactly what city it is, what part of the country it is.
Yeah, but
down LA has a lot of character, but downtown LA is not.
A good chunk of it is pretty indistinguishable from any other. There are some parts this does feel like LA, but a good chunk of it is just kind of just skyscrapers and buildings and traffic.
I mean, there are parts of New York that are like that too. That could just kind of be any major city. A lot of movies that take place in New York are actually shot in Toronto, or Vancouver or something. Right. All right. Well, that was downtown talk.
Yeah.
Ben and Joe.
Yeah. So we watched a couple of movies. The past year, a couple of horror movies.
Yeah, we're doing kind of a classic episode today of just talking about horror movies.
So both of these were suggested by you, Ben. So the first one we're going to cover is The Conjuring: Last Rites. So I'd actually I barely registered this movie. When you texted me about it, I was like, oh, there was a fourth Conjuring movie.
Yeah,
and I was like, I vaguely,
and that's kind of the proper attitude to have going into this, because this movie, I mean, we'll get it. So when I said when Joe just said that I recommended these, I recommended these to discuss, not as in, I mean, I actually really liked the next movie we're gonna talk about together, but this movie is more of I just wanted to talk about it, but I did not have high hopes going into it, and it kind of this, I guess, I had pretty low expectations. I'm not a Conjuring guy. I'm not a Conjuring aficionado where I've seen every one. I think they're
called Conjuring heads is what they're called.
Yeah, Conjure heads.
Con heads.
Yeah. That's from Succession, but that's the story. This one felt very much what this movie felt like? If you gave AI what's their name, Ed and Lorraine Warren. If you gave them you just kind of gave them a short script of the Warrens, what they do, gave a little context, because this is the sundowning part of their the Warrens are retiring. They kind of have that what's that term? I'm blanking on the term where it's like the hero doesn't really want to get involved. What?
Oh, like the sort of like the reluctant.
Yes, that's it. The reluctant hero. Yeah, they're kind of like the reluctant heroes being pulled out of, when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah.
So basically give AI just a few sentences of context and characters. This is the script it would give you.
Yeah, and it's like you're right, and so this is based on a true story.
We don't have video. That's all scare quotes. That's all quotes.
So this was based on a case. It was the Smurl haunting from it was a series of hauntings that took place in West Pittston, Pennsylvania, between 1974 and 1989. In this family owned by the Smurl, this house owned by the Smurl family.
Smurls.
I know, yeah.
Smurls. Again, that's like a name AI would make up. Like, that's the Smurls. Yeah, and that sounds like, so this is like Northeast Pennsylvania, kind of like Scranton area. So Smurls.
Yeah,
Scranton. The town once produced crackers. Yeah, no shit. This is definitely. I'm reading the Wikipedia page right now. You say that again. All right.
But I didn't read too much about this case, but it's just kind of the usual, like, oh, a family moves into a place and then they experience a bunch of supernatural, sounds and things and apparitions and whatnot. And of course, these fucking shysters, the Warrens,
they're just the worst.
Yeah, and what's funny is that, like, I was kind of interested in the story. So I've seen the first two. I'm sorry. I've seen most of the Conjuring verse movies. So I've seen the first two. I thought the first one was decent. It wasn't groundbreaking, but I thought it was a decent haunted house movie. The second one was, it was all right. It had a few cool parts, but it was kind of whatever. And then the third one, The Devil Made Me Do It, I thought that was kind of garbage. And then this one,
I've talked about. I'm on the record of hating that movie, not just because it was a bad movie, like it was very good, but it was such a bait and switch movie.
Yeah,
which pissed me off so much. That was such like I thought this was going to be a legal drama, where I think it is the first time in U.S. history where they use demonic possession as a legal defense.
Mm-hmm.
And like, as an attorney, I'm like, that is so cool. Like, that is so interesting to me. I'm an attorney who loves exorcism movies, so like that was right up my alley. And then it's just not about that.
Yeah.
So
and this movie continues that trend of just kind of generic, it's just tropes.
Well, that's the term. Like that is generic. Like you said, that's what this is one of the most generic horror movies I've ever seen. It's like, you have so we can get into the details of it, I guess. Like you have a family, I'd say like middle class family, but it's like a very big family, very classic. This is the 50s, 60s, 50s,
no, 80s.
This is the 80s.
Yeah. The first part of the movie took place in the 60s.
That's just West Pittston. Fucking feels like 50s.
This is where evolutionary ran in reverse.
Yeah, somehow this is. Sorry, I don't mean to shit on this part of Pennsylvania.
I know. I'm sure it's a nice place.
I have nothing against them. Yeah. So you have like this family kind of in this double house in Pennsylvania, and it's a pretty big family. And there's a haunted mirror, which for some reason everyone decides to touch. And in my review, I'm like, just stop touching the mirror. Nothing good happens when you touch the mirror. So of course, like usual, it's one character, of course, like a young girl, starts to get haunted again. And so like in the beginning of the movie, it's actually connected to the Warrens, which is like, okay, like, yeah, what are the odds of that?
Right.
But the crux of this is that there's a haunting in a house that is I think it's like a murder suicide, right? Or like a mass murder.
Yeah.
In the house. And it's one of those movies. One thing I hate about any movie, but especially horror movies, is like inconsistency within the world that you're providing to me, like within the rules of whatever this is, whether it's zombies, vampires, ghosts, especially. It's kind of like, well, what is real and what's not, like what can hurt you or what is only imaginary or in your head. And this movie does a very poor job of deciphering that. Like, like if it's all fake and it's psychological, that's fine. You can make a really good movie that way, where it's like the biggest threat to the characters are actually the characters themselves and how they react to these spirits or ghosts or whatever that can't physically harm them. Or you can do the opposite, where the monster spirits, whatever it is, can physically harm the characters and they are a real threat. This movie does both, and it's not, and it's really poorly done. I probably didn't do the best job kind of summing that up, but again, I feel like I don't have to, because one, neither of us recommend this movie. I'm just speaking for Joe on that one. Two, this, like, you could, if you have any sort of
self-respect,
then you wouldn't listen to this podcast. If you have any experience with horror movie, like, you could just guess what's going to happen. It's very predictable. They try and add a little like levity to the movie with like the Warren's daughter's boyfriend. And like making Earl, what did I say? Earl Warren? That's not his name. Ed Earl Warren was a Supreme Court justice. Ed Warren, but like do father things, and the whole like approving of the boyfriend, and the boyfriend wants to take on a larger role in all of this, and it's like there's also this part, and then I'll let you add whatever you need to add, Joe. Like there's also this part of it that I can't stand, where it's like they show the Warrens kind of giving this vapid, boring talk at a sparsely attended
lecture hall or something.
Yeah, lecture hall, exactly. And there's a handful of people there, and no one's really paying attention, and no one really cares. And it's like, no, like these people were super popular, super well known. Like that's why they're traveling across the country to handle these cases. I think they are from Pennsylvania. I can't remember that. Do you know where they're from?
I thought they were from somewhere in New England.
Oh, maybe it's Connecticut. Because aren't they in A Haunting in Connecticut? Isn't that them? I don't know.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
Right?
Skeptic investigated and the Snedeker family haunting dramatized in the film The Connecticut. It did not happen. It had been invented. But yeah, there's some Connecticut. They do. Yeah, Connecticut. You're right.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Connecticut.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it's like they're very popular, and it's like they have this sort of cabinet of curiosities type room, like a whole room, which kind of to me really like says the quiet part out loud. And whenever someone goes in that room, you know, first of all, they'd love to show it off. This isn't like some vaulted what's that there's that picture that always kind of circulates on the internet I see it every few years, that has the doors to one of the pharaohs like sealed shut, like from the outside, because the Egyptologists who found it got haunted, and now no one could go in there. Some pharaoh, right?
Yeah,
in Egypt. And it's like, it's not like they're keeping all of these items that Ed loves to call like, oh, don't touch it, it's possessed. Like these are all haunted. It's like, then why do you have them?
Yeah.
Why? Because you're just making money. Like, it's all such bullshit. And I was actually kind of surprised that they showed that in the movie.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's funny because I was going to make this point earlier, but when the Conjuring movie, when the first one came out, and I thought the movie was all right. I got a little bit into them because I do love ghost stories. I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm fascinated by ghost stories and hauntings and urban legends and stuff. So I read up a little bit about them, but then like almost, if not every single case that they were part of, sometime after the fact, somebody would come out and be like, yeah, I invented that, or yeah, whatever. We exaggerate a lot of what was going on. But they didn't, Lorraine Warren, she claimed to be partially psychic. And that psychic bitch, that psychic bitch couldn't detect. Like, oh yeah, I think they're lying. Like, so the more I read about them, I was like, fuck these people. Yeah. There was and getting back to your point about like the tropes and the cliches and the inconsistencies and the scares. Yeah, it like all the scares, like they were either like jump scares, or it was like, oh no, the thing that we got rid of came back in the house, or it's like, hey, there's a ghost who just suddenly appears behind you, sort of thing, where it's just like, what is the purpose of, why would the ghost do that?
What's right, exactly. What is, are they, I know you like to talk about this, but it's like the whole just ghost appearing and vanishing. It's like, well, it's not like unless you can do that where the ghost is like maybe like a cat, which I have right here, like a cat like toying with its prey. Like that is a thing that you could do, but rarely is that actually the case. Usually it's just like you know why they're doing that? Because it's a movie.
Yes,
and you need a build up, when really it's like, well, unless you're showing me some sort of portal or power or conjuring that strengthens the ghost's appearances or something, like why wouldn't the ghost just always be the ghost? Like unless there's some sort of opening or powers or something like that, which should be explained in the movie. Like the fact that it just like appears at the foot of the bed and then vanishes, like well why? And especially in this movie, and we're gonna spoil stuff because again, there's really nothing to spoil. This is,
if you've seen any horror movie, you've probably seen this.
Any haunted, it's basically a haunted house movie. It's not the typical haunted house where it's like a creepy Victorian house up on a hill. It's not that. It's I don't think it's a row home, but it's like one of those double homes. Very
it's basically like suburban America, like in the 80s. Like it's not
it's, or even urban America. Like my mom grew up in a house like this in Philly. Like it's the same. Like they're very common. But it's still a haunted house. Like that's what this is. That I also didn't catch, and maybe I didn't care so much. It's like, well, the mirror is bringing forth the ghosts, or like access the portal, but it's because a murder happened in this house, but the mirror was haunted outside of the house. So I don't know necessarily. Maybe it is explained and I didn't catch it, or I didn't care to catch it, but I didn't get that, because this was specific to this house where there was this vicious axe murder that occurred there. I'm trying to catch it quickly in the wiki. It doesn't really matter. But to kind of I guess end with wrap, like the ghost is itself a victim. Like one of the main ones you see most of the movie is like the old woman. It's like an old woman. Or like a moldering woman. Maybe that's what makes her look old. Like, but she's a victim. Like, so why is she? I guess she could be haunting, but like, wouldn't she be more warning?
Why is she showing up and like smirking at little girls and like it's like
exactly right. It's like, well, if you're trying to, and that could be like a totally fair motivation for a ghost would be to warn like get out. Like that is a thing. That's actually a common thing, but that's not what's happening here. It's not what's happening here
it's the movie starts to the way the scares are handled in this movie. It's less like like good horror cinema and more just like a horror like carnival ride where it's like, oh, stuff is happening, boo, it's like it is it's carnival logic, which I'm and look, it can be fun sometimes, but it's like we've just had decades and decades of this, so it'd be nice if somebody were to be like, hey, I'm gonna come up with a new twist on haunted houses, on ghost stories, but no, this is having them appear and act spooky and then disappear suddenly. And sometimes they can be very physical, and sometimes they don't touch you. So I don't, another thing too is that guy Tony. So the Warren's daughter's boyfriend,
right?
So I only watched the first hour of this movie or so. So I didn't really catch. So I didn't see anything past this. But like, there's a part where she brings him to her dad's birthday party, and there's all these people there, and then some guy asks Tony, he goes, hey, so what do you do? And he goes, well, I'm in between jobs. And then she goes, oh, well, he used to be a police officer. And he goes, oh, really? So why'd you quit? And then he, in true, like, stereotypical, like, cliche Hollywood fashion, he just goes, It's a long story, and then it just cuts to the next scene. She's like, "Oh, what's Tony's deal? What's his?" So can you? Is it possible for you to sum up like what the long story was? Why he quit being a cop? Was there something significant about that?
Oh, yes, they do explain it. He either, I think he shot someone, and I'm actually getting confused with something else I recently watched. It was something.
That's good. I mean, that's because like this movie's so interchangeable. It's just sort of like, oh, some guy who's got a haunted past.
Yeah, it was something. It was now that I'm thinking, I think it was something like he was asked to do something that he like morally couldn't do. So it was not very like interesting. Like it wasn't. It wasn't anything special. I can't remember exactly what I watched this maybe a week and a half ago, and I've already forgotten a decent amount.
That's fine. I mean, that just contributes to my overall point of just like how sort of bland, the writing and the characters.
Yeah, the only reason to watch this movie would be if you just want to complete the Conjuring series, like you just are one of those people. And I get that. I do that with stuff.
Sure.
Just want to have said you've seen all the Conjuring movies. You compare them to each other. I would even say it's like very fun for just like to throw something on. There's plenty of other horror stuff on, or unless like me, you like to watch a lot of things from the current year to kind of make a list of that year's like just movies in general. But I think as you know, I rate movies. I think I gave this like a 52.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's fair. Like it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't the worst horror movie I've ever seen, but it was just unoriginal. A friend of mine has a term for movies like this where it's like it's not a bad movie, it's just not very good, but it's something they keep on in the background. He's like, I call it like a screensaver movie where it's like it's if you're folding laundry or something, you're doing chores around the house and you're in the mood for something spooky, but not something you want to pay attention to. This is a fine screensaver to put on in the background.
I guess that's true. So with very few exceptions, I wouldn't recommend this movie.
I don't care for it. It's not really worth hunting down. But yeah, like Ben said, if you're a completist and you want to see how this stupid fucking series ends, go for it.
Is this really the last one? Is that like the shtick?
Well, unfortunately, the movie made almost $500 million.
It does. Yeah. Oh my God, that's another thing. These movies make so much money.
Yeah, it made $494.7 million against a budget of $55 million. So yeah, that's a huge profit. So it was reported that following the financial success of Last Rites, a Conjuring prequel film was in development. Reportedly, due to a pay dispute, James Wan may not be involved in the project. So there we might be getting more of this. So
okay,
sorry to say that.
I'm sure we'll talk about it on the podcast.
Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way, though.
Okay.
So we can talk about something better. So this is one that popped up on our radar. So this is when we're over at the Reckless Muse because there was a movie. They were suing the producers of this movie because they had a similar plot. Do you remember that? There was some.
Yeah. There's some controversy with this movie about plagiarism and basically, I mean, like anything, depending on whose side you hear, it can be pretty persuasive. So when I first heard, because I think I listened to it on a podcast briefly, like when I first heard the more plagiarism side, like the plagiarism happened, it seemed pretty damning on this movie. Like who would that even be against? Would it be the producer? So actually the stars too, Dave Franco, Alison Brie, and a bunch of others. But then I think I heard some like a different version and it didn't seem all that bad. But I don't know. So I'm not going to speak one way or the other.
And by the way, the other film was called Better Half and it came out in 2023. So that's what the other one was about.
Better Half. Oh, so that did come out. It wasn't just a script. Like it was an actual movie.
Yeah. But that one was more of a romantic comedy. That one involved a couple who are very non-committal. They have a one-night stand, but then they wake up and they're fused together. So it's a little more slapstick, from what I understand, a little more kind of zany.
Gotcha. Well, I think what made it so this sentence here, better half was pitched to Brie and Franco.
Oh, that's right.
And I think that's what makes it like this isn't just because the concept is very interesting. I don't think it's the most original thing ever. So I could see just artists coming up with the similar idea, but the fact that it was allegedly pitched to them and then a few years later they make a movie of it, like that is what sounded pretty damning to me. But again, I'm going off of what's on Wikipedia here. I don't actually know. So that aside, and I could read some more of this. Yeah, Dave Franco and Alison Brie accused of copyright infringement. All right, so I could look into that. We talk about that because we could throw some legal stuff into our podcast, into our podcast. That's always fun.
Yeah.
So that's aside. Let's just talk about the merits of the movie and the substance of it. So I love this movie. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was like I forget the term, but it's like elder millennial cringe, codependent body horror. It's a tight script. It's not a lot of characters, but it doesn't like a lot. Sometimes when there's very few characters, you can tell it's like, oh, that's a budgetary reason, and like this didn't, which is fine. Like it's very, very difficult to make a movie, and some of the best movies are that, but like this didn't feel like that. It just felt like that's what matters. It's just a handful of characters. Really, it's the stars, Alison Brie and Dave Franco, who are married in real life, which I think makes it very interesting and kind of a fun movie to make with your wife.
Yeah.
But it's like it doesn't try to overdo it. It's like, look, this right away. I mean, if you watch 5 minutes of this movie, you know where it's going. And I thought that was an interesting choice. And I even went back, I don't know about you, but I went back and like did a freeze frame on the dogs in the beginning. I have to see what this is. Yeah. And it's gnarly.
Yeah.
But it's not hiding anything. Like you know, and I thought that was a really interesting directorial decision. What do you think about that? Like kind of giving
that was during the opening sequence. I thought that was very reminiscent of The Thing. Because there was a scene with dogs.
Sure, of course. But in The Thing, isn't it a little later?
That's right, like halfway through the movie or something like that.
Yeah. Because that's what I thought too. Like I thought The Thing, I think that was the point. Like I think it was like kind of an ode to that, or an homage to The Thing. But there's like 3 minutes in.
No, it's basically the beginning of the movie. So we should probably summarize the plot just a little bit. So Dave Franco and Alison Brie, they play this couple. They're probably like in their mid to late 30s. And so they were living in a big city together. They've been together for a while, but she gets a job.
Seattle.
And she gets a job as a teacher somewhere away from the city, like a couple hours away, I think. And he's a little torn on it because he does care about her, but he's also, a musician, and he doesn't want to really leave behind all these opportunities that he, they're kind of with him in the city. But he agrees to go along because he's kind of a wuss. I mean, like he's very indecisive. He's just sort of like, all right, fine, whatever. I don't want to,
But it's not like he has all that much going on. Like that's very clear right away. It's not like he's giving up at that time of the decision. He's like basically unemployed, not doing anything. So it's not like he's leaving behind. He's not like leaving behind a band or anything.
Yeah. So they move into this small idyllic town, and they go for a hike. They're exploring the forest around this lovely home that they live in, and they fall into like this like sinkhole or something. Like there's this underground cave, and there's this weird puddle that he drinks out of because they're kind of isolated. They don't have anything to do. So they drink from this mysterious puddle, and there's like weird sort of culty stuff. It's not exactly clear, which I like. I like the way that underground tunnel looks. That a cool vibe. They drink from this puddle, and then their bodies start to kind of fuse a little bit. It's kind of a gradual process, and like, when every time they would embrace, they get stuck to each other a little bit, but they would kind of
yeah.
But then things just get weirder and weirder the more they kind of dive into the history of that region.
It accelerates so whatever this force is, it needs to connect with the other. So I mean, I don't know what would happen here if it was like 5 people. Right. I don't know if that's exactly clear, but it's only ever 2 people, just like the beginning was the 2 dogs that went into this cave, actually searching for 2 missing hikers. And that's kind of like undergirding this whole movie is like these 2 hikers keep coming up. Like, what happened to these? There was a big search for them. Dave Franco's character, I think his name is Tim or whatever. He's like researching this, and of course, they come up later, so that's kind of like, that something like this isn't obviously safe. This is going to end badly, because you already saw. And now that I'm thinking it over, actually, like what you saw in the beginning, like with the dogs, that's where this movie is going, unless you make a certain decision, and that decision is really the crux of the climax. How to handle this, because they try and fight it as much as possible. And like you said, like they and the whole thing, another part of this movie is like Tim won't have sex with her. I saw this really one of the funniest reviews I saw on Letterboxd of this. It was one line. It's like, this is what happens when straight people call each other partners. It's like, because they do, like, they're not. Oh my god! And I put in my review, like, the most difficult part to watch in this movie, like the most cover your eyes part of this movie, is when she, in front of all of their friends at their going away party, she surprises and proposes to him. Which, do not ever do that. Women, do not do that. It obviously doesn't go well. I can't imagine why you would ever make that decision, like, especially in front of all of your friends. And obviously it doesn't go well, but like that's the hardest part to watch this whole movie.
That and the way she did it, like there was no ring, like it was just like an imaginary thing, like she mimed it.
And I think that's a overlooked part of Together, is like how good they are at being awkward and a bad couple. Like they both have their issues. He is reserved and doesn't like want to have sex with her. He has a traumatic experience, which kind of like I could have done without that. I thought that felt a little forced. It's like, and that always happens. And it actually brings, what that reminded me of was Midsummer, where if you remember Midsummer, it's like that movie is already so insane. And I love it. Like, I love Midsummer. I have a poster of it in my TV room. But I thought that her, what's her fucking Florence Pugh's character? Florence Pugh in Midsummer. It's like her sister kills her family, like kills her parents, like a murder suicide thing. At the beginning, it's like, why does that need to have? That's nothing to do with the Norse Viking people and their crazy their crazy festivities. So it's like, we feel bad, like you didn't have to make it that insane. Just like, I feel like that's just a kind of a cheap way to add some more horror to a movie that doesn't need it. And I thought the same thing here. It's like, this was a body, like, we love body horror. It's one of my favorite types of movies, period. But this was not body horror. Why Tim is like already haunted, right? It's because something like his dad died, his mom just kind of like laid in bed with him and didn't take it. Like, she went nuts.
Yeah.
I was like, that is not necessary for this movie. Like you don't need any of that to, like, you could cut all of that out and you can just have him kind of be like a solemn guy and kind of in his own, like doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take away from the movie at all.
Yeah. And it provided some what I thought were effective but ultimately unnecessary scares at the beginning, where he has visions of his mom and she looks all and she's pretty freaky looking, like the from like the
really freaky looking.
But it's also like, but it ultimately added, like, thematically didn't really tie into the movie at all.
No,
it did seem like a forced way to maybe make Franco's character a little more redeemable, because up until that point, like, he's really annoying me. He's just like, dude, you got a pretty girlfriend. She's totally in love with you. You're moving to a lovely cabin, a lovely big house, in a nice little neighborhood. What are you complaining about?
Yeah, he kind of sucks. Yeah, he kind of sucks. The whole shtick is like he's kind of like the stereotype of just like the disaffected urban youngish middle-aged male. Like can't really, like, can you like not really do stuff?
Yeah,
like she has to do something. I can't remember specifics. It's not like a change a tire type thing, but sort of things like that. Like,
he doesn't drive. He doesn't drive, so she has to drive him everywhere.
He doesn't drive, right. So yeah, he's just kind of a burden.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, they could have done he doesn't drive because he was in a terrible car accident or something.
Right.
That could have been part of it. Like, you didn't need it felt to me like, hey, so maybe the body horror won't hit with people, so we need this other more classic horror stuff.
Yeah.
In case it felt like a crutch, and although it was freaky, it was unnecessary and
it felt a little bit like a first draft sort of thing, where it's like, let's give him a tragic backstory, we'll flesh it out later, but then they ended up not really doing it. It's like they could have done something a little more thematically relevant, where it's like
tragic, but it's like so
over the top,
over the top. It you could have done like, okay, maybe your dad killed your mom and then killed himself, like in like a normal people, not that this really horrific thing. Because then it always kind of bugs me where it's like, oh, and then this character has another. It's like, how you can only give someone so many horrific experiences.
Yeah, I mean,
realistically,
if it was a little less dramatic and traumatic, like if they'd have done something where it's like, oh, he was raised by a single mom. It's like, oh, like he's a very, he needs a female that he can depend on. That's why he's so dependent. Or something. Like, okay, I can understand something like that. But instead, it's like, oh my god, like, so that's why you're such a whiny bitch. So, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know.
But he definitely redeems himself. Like he becomes a really good. He does, like, that's what makes a good character, is that he doesn't stay that way the whole movie.
Yes,
he doesn't necessarily become like the classic hero either, which I liked. He just kind of steps it up and accepts their fate, and kind of becomes the in the scene that I think was in the trailer where they're sleeping in separate bedrooms because they're not happy with each other, and also because of that, like what's going on, like they're finally accepting that this is paranormal, or not paranormal, I guess, let's say. And so they sleep in separate bedrooms, but then like their bodies are forcing them together like magnets.
Yeah.
And they're at opposite sides of the hallway. And like they're like, like you can imagine, if you haven't seen this, you can imagine just like what you would do to, if someone was pulling you, if someone like an invisible rope or something was pulling you, like you're tearing at the ground, you're grabbing at doorways, you're fighting back, and like he becomes kind of the brave one, because I remember she says a line that really stuck with me. She's like, I want to die.
Yeah.
And I thought he's like, no, you have to fight back. Like you have to do this. And what I think something that I realized not during the movie, but after, like, this is a really physical performance from these actors.
Yeah.
Assuming that they did, like, I don't know if Alison Brie did all of, because she like contorts.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's her. Like, I know some actors, like, what's her name in is it Emily Rose, exorcism Emily Rose,
Oh,
like
right, right.
Carpenter's her last name from Dexter.
Yeah.
Like she actually can do that.
Mm.
So that's why might be part of why she was hired.
Yeah.
Or maybe this was a stunt double or something. But regardless, this is like these are very physical performances from these actors that I had never seen them do. I don't think so, anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
'Cause I'm a big fan of both of them. I really like Dave Frank. I think he's a really strong actor, dramatic and comedic. I think he's a really funny actor too.
Mm.
And Alison Brie, I've always liked since Mad Men. I don't know what you think about them.
Well, I gotta admit, they kind of annoyed me for like probably the first 2/3 of the movie.
They're supposed to, though.
I know, but for me, it's just like it's sort of like obnoxious, like urban millennial. It's like we're living together, but we have no plans of like. Or I guess obviously she wanted to get married, but it's just sort of like we're just kind of it's like semi boho. I don't know. There's something.
They're they're very elder millennial, like Seattle urbanites moving out to the country, so to speak, getting like not being prepared for that lifestyle, even though they did literally fall into something unexpected that's like not everyone deals with. I think that's part of it. Like I think I don't think it's supposed to be this perfect couple that you're rooting for from the beginning,
right,
to avoid tragedy. Like I think that's part of it. You kind of want, like, I don't know if you want them to suffer, but they're definitely supposed to be kind of unlikable in some ways, and I think that's a strength.
Well, luckily it all came together for me towards the end when both of them
that's right. Together.
Totally unintentional, but that's how the movie ends. They come together.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert.
But the last third of the movie, I actually really started to care about them much more, and I thought like their performances got much better, like seeing them getting pushed to their emotional and physical limits.
Let's talk about like what the thing is, like what is actually going on here, because we've kind of been talking around it. So if you're not you don't want that spoiled, like if you saw the trailer for this, you kind of get the gist of what's happening. So if you don't want spoilers, definitely don't listen to this part, because we're going to talk about why this is happening. Do you want to explain it, or?
I'll do my best, because it's still a little hazy, but there was like this weird little like new agey church or cult or something that's like out in the woods near where the couple is staying, and they have like this weird ritual where like where it's like instead of just getting married, like you and your partner fuse together into one cohesive being. And in true body horror fashion, it's like your limbs and your flesh are fusing into each other. And I didn't fully understand the purpose of it. Like it was kind of explained, but it was just sort of like, it's the perfect way for you and your partner to be together.
I'll explain the best I can. I think part of it is supposed to be, well, like I said, it's not supposed to be this whole recipe and philosophical, like part of it is philosophical, where the other kind of main character in this movie is a guy, I forget his name. He's he's a teacher at the same school where Alison Brie is working.
His name is
Jamie, and he's there, like he's like the friend. He's like the first one to talk to her, invite her to sit at the table in the teacher's lounge. And there really aren't any other characters in this movie, but like one friend who she like zooms with during one scene, who's at the party in the beginning, and then she like zooms with, and she just kind of talks about how much Tim sucks, and that's it. And it's like, this is really the only other main character in this movie, and he seems like a very nice guy, but he's the one who kind of like there's symbols throughout the movie, like on bells, I think, which I don't know if that ever really gets explained why, but there's these weird symbols, and and the cult comes out like he might bring up the missing backpackers, the missing hikers, or not. I can't remember exactly, but he's like, oh well, there used to be this cult and they were harmless. It was like this new age church. They're out in the woods and just kind of got neglected and fell into disrepair or whatever. And that was the end of that. That was one scene.
And real quick about the character of Jamie, one thing I liked about his role in the film, because he's presented as a colleague of Alison Brie's character, and at first he seems a little bit not flirty, but you because it's a drama film, you think, oh, maybe she's gonna start having feelings for him, and maybe she's gonna leave her loser boyfriend to go with this nicer guy. And that's what it's kind of set up to be, or at least that's where where I was kind of thinking. And then his role changes quite a bit, and I actually like that reveal. I thought that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, he's very good. He lives in this. So he actually coincidentally lives on the same street. He's like in that they keep saying like, oh, I'm in the yellow house. Yeah. And so she goes to confide in him sometimes. Like she doesn't, again, they just moved here. They don't have any other friends. And yeah, you do get that feeling like, oh, is this going to become some sort of love triangle situation? Well, no, because he's gay. And that comes, and you find that out later, and he's not in this to be with her at all. And he, so how do I put this? Like he starts actually warning them. And in a way, he's a good guy. And I'll explain why. Yeah. Because what happened to them, he didn't send them there. Right? He didn't send them to the cave. He didn't send them to the well. They did that on their own. So that's a fact of life now. This is what they have to deal with. Now, of course, because it's a movie, he doesn't come out and just say like sit them down and say, look, this is what I am. This is what you have to do. Because that wouldn't be much of a movie, I guess. Right. He he slowly kind of unfurls that him and his ex-husband, who he never see, I don't think he says that he died, but he says like he's not around anymore, he's no longer with us, something like that. I don't know.
He keeps it vague.
Yeah, he keeps it vague. But in fact, they were part of this cult. They were part of this church, and they fused. And one thing I won't say I didn't like about the movie, but one thing I thought could have been done better was Jamie, to me, because the only time you see his husband before the end is in a photo of the two of them fishing. Yeah. And when you fuse, it's not like one overtakes the other. If you let me say, if you fuse properly, because we'll talk about not properly, it's an amalgam. It's combined. And I didn't see that. To me, it looked like he was very much the guy who, when you look at that picture, you point to one guy, say that's who's talking right now, not the other guy. I don't know. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that was ex-boyfriend or husband or whatever. Okay,
yeah,
and that's him.
He's the guy on the right, clearly, and the guy on the left is the ex-husband. And I think that could have been done better, where it could have been like a simple one sentence, one quick conversation, like, oh, which one are you? And then, like, you look like, oh, you've changed. How old are you here? Like something like that. There's none of that. Yeah, and I think that could have been a pretty easy fix, to just be like, wait a minute. No. Why this guy doesn't look exactly like one of these people in this photo? What's going on? Like, I think that would have made it more interesting.
Yeah. And there were a couple of things in the movie that felt a little bit, what is it? Like Chekhov's gun sort of thing, where you're like, oh, this is going to show up later on in the movie, isn't it? Yeah. So one of the things was, I think, Alison Brie's character, she's at his house and they're chatting, and he says something like, oh, like, I'm looking for my old wedding video, and it's like, oh, there's something important about that, isn't there?
No, he like really wants to show her the wedding video, and and then she sees, oh, so we left out this whole time, Dave Franco, Tim's not doing well. He's like feeling the effects way more, I guess, because maybe he drank the water. and he's also on tons of drugs. He's also on like a lot of drugs. So he's like standing outside his window, kind of like stalkerish, even though he like can't really control himself. He's so attracted, like he literally wants to be a part of her.
Yeah.
So she like rushes out of the house, and that's the end of that. But before that, Jamie like really wants to show her the wedding video, which of course does come up later, and kind of like that part did kind of make me eye roll, where it's like she goes to his house for safety, and the wedding video is playing in a dark room. Like,
and he shows up right behind. Yeah, and
like
he shows up. Like, how did he know?
Well, yeah, like how did he? Like that was stupid.
Yeah.
I kind of was like, all right, well, I'm already hooked. Like that could have been done better, but that is so you get exposition there, which sometimes I want, where I'm like, okay, what actually happens? Like, how does this work? Where they kind of do like a blood fuse type thing, like they cut each other open and touch blood and go into the well together, and you're seeing it looks kind of like grainy foot. It looks like it's probably from 15 years ago or so, like VHS quality type home video, and that explains it. And she rushes out, and he's like you can't fight it or something. He like warns her, and that is when you see the other part of him like reveal itself. Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay, so he is combined. And I don't know. I thought that whole reveal, all of that could have been done better.
Yeah. It was like they were looking for another way to add some suspense. And so when he reveals himself, you're like, oh, is he gonna kill her? Is he like the way he's like, watching her watch the wedding video, and then he appears behind her from the shadows, and it's sort of like, okay. And like, let me guess, you timed this perfectly. You left your door unlocked so she would run inside your home, and then
where I left out one of the most important parts, he cuts the shit out of her.
Oh yeah,
like to a point of what
she
someone
what
someone would do to try and commit suicide, and and that is, so I see what he's doing there is in a way helping her to be like, no, look, you're past the point of no return. You have to, if you want to survive and not become a monster, you need to accept this. It's kind of like accepting your fate.
Yeah.
And I think we haven't really talked, because this is a horror podcast, we've talked about the horror elements. There's a lot of, I think, commentary in this movie too, about settling, like not just settling down but like the pejorative settling. Like, I think a lot of people would argue like she's much better than him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's necessarily true by the end of the movie though. But but like and then I think there's commentary on when they spend so much time together. It's like I put in my review, like there's a whole How I Met Your Mother episode about this, where like Lily and Marshall basically fuse together because they start using like we, like when couples start talking in they're using the we pronoun because they just think the same and do the same things. So we kind of haven't gotten to that. I don't know if we necessarily need to, but that's when I think in a way Tim becomes the hero, because I don't know what would happen if she dies, because she wants to die,
right?
And he basically convinces her to that like they have to fuse to survive. And I don't know if he would still fuse with her to like her corpse if not. I don't know. But then we get like the fuse scene, and what I left out here is while that's going on, Tim is back at the well, and surprise, surprise, we find the hikers.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. I like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What you come for body horror, because it's not going well for them. And you could imagine like it's a Cronenbergian creature, where really it's the girl's kind of, I think, the more surviving one, basically begging to get help, and she's not doing well. So that's and then we get the fusing scene and the ending where the reveal is that they have become one and
Yep.
they look totally normal, not kind of a androgynous. I'd say probably more feminine, but I don't know, but like they become one, and the movie ends. I don't know what, because they're supposed to have lunch with her
Her parents.
parents.
Yeah.
I don't know what happen. I'd actually love to see what happens there.
Yeah.
That kind of, I think, would have been a cool end credit scene. But yeah, that's together.
Another one of those like Chekhov's. I guess in this film it would be Chekhov's Spice Girls, because at the beginning of the movie, she
God bless you.
oh, thank you. Or I think it's around halfway through the movie, she's talking to her friend about how thoughtful he used to be. She goes, yeah, like, on our second date,
On their first date. Yeah.
On their first date, she mentions that she's a fan of the Spice Girls, and on their second date, he surprises her with a vinyl record of the Spice Girls. And then so the song that they dance to when they're fusing, it's a Spice Girls song called "Two Becomes One," I think.
Oh, okay. That's on the nose. I didn't. I don't remember that.
Yeah. The only reason I knew that, because it's not like I'm a fan of the Spice Girls, because I just looked it up on Wikipedia. I was like, oh, so that's the song that they were. Okay, gotcha. All right. But yeah, the body horror stuff is pretty cool. It's the practical stuff is terrific. There are some shots that are done with CGI that don't look quite as good, but they're pretty decent though. But I actually overall enjoyed how the film managed to kind of like, tip its hat to 80s body horror without being a slave to it. Because I mean, like, so we're seeing like this thing where it's like, hey, let's just do things exactly the way they did in the 80s, where it's like, this is just a total ripoff of the 80s, or rehash of the 80s, whereas this was like, it's informed by 80s body horror, but it's fused with no pun intended, with a more sort of like modern romantic drama. I thought it actually worked pretty well.
I really liked this movie. It was scary. It had social commentary on modern issues. I think had relatable characters. It was fun. It had like just enough of that, what's bubbling beneath the surface. Like you said, there's a lot of Easter eggs that are going to pop up. We're going to see the hikers again. How are we going to see them? Spice Girls record, the wedding video, like there are all these things. And it's, it's pretty, I like that. I liked it a lot more than, let's say, like, and again, great movie, but like a Hereditary ending where it's the whole cult, like it's much bigger. It's like everyone's involved. Like, no, this was contained. This wasn't the whole town is fused people and they're all trying to get them. Like that stuff I think has been done a million times, and I'm kind of over it. So yeah, I thought this was, I think it's I don't even think it's a 2-hour movie. I can't remember.
But it was like an hour 44, hour and 40 minutes, which is better than stupid The Conjuring, which is over 2 hours long. And that
brutal.
I definitely check out Together. It's got some gooey parts. It's got some dramatic parts.
It does have some gooey parts.
Yeah, and we even left out some stuff, which I'll leave for the audience to check out.
Sure.
Spoiled. There's some cool gooey stuff. Check out Together. And the Conjuring can just be, a piece of decor or something that you have in the background. You don't need to like sit and like pay attention to it really. So
you can skip that one.
Yeah. All right, Benjamin.
Okay,
this is the first one of the new year. The first sign off. See you in the basement.
See you in the basement. I'll see you in the basement.